to your building.
How do they reach?
And then we can put batteries.
Yeah.
Do we have more?
Right. Yeah. Perfect. I don't know if there's like somewhere that I.
You can put your stuff. So we have some space over here. If you want, you can put your stuff.
Hello, hello. Test, test.
Brought some brochures too for my program that I'm here to talk about, and I don't know if we can put
You
those
can
up
put your
somewhere.
stuff here. And your laptop needs to be connected. We do have HDMI,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so that looks like the one that we want.
So yeah. Don't have, you do have a HDMI port.
I do. And is there a place I could plug in my laptop for electricity?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, how you doing, Adrian? Nice to meet you, Adrian. Want to shake? All right, cool. Great to meet you.
Same here.
You got a lot of brochures, you want a table?
I'm sorry?
You want a table?
Well, yeah, I don't have a lot. I just wanted to maybe put this out. Some
Oh, yeah.
trifold brochures, and then I brought for people who attend today, but also for y'all to give out to folks beyond this presentation. These are inclusivity buttons that I made for the terraces.
Yeah.
And so the intention for these is for residents to wear them so that LGBTQ residents know that that's a safe person to talk to and be open to.
Nice.
So we could hand these out after, I guess.
Okay.
And then you can take whatever's left after
Okay,
to hand out. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I think that was small one right there, that's a big one, right?
So is Bradley no longer here? No, okay, okay,
It's new, so, yeah.
yeah. He was here for a while, wasn't he? Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm newer. I've only been here, I'm going on 4 months. Adrian
Oh.
and I both came for this.
Oh, okay, okay.
New?
Oh, okay, new to here, but the terraces. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I really want to.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you guys a package deal or how did that work? Oh, yes, yes. So yeah, I've been here before. I came last year. I was part of a panel during Pride Month. And y'all did um, a panel discussion with people from various backgrounds. So I'm looking forward to this because Bradley did, I don't know if he let you know why he reached out to us. He said that there were a couple residents who were LGBTQ who approached him and said that they didn't feel comfortable coming out. As a matter of fact, he followed up with another email after that initial one saying that another person came up to them and said that they're LGBTQ. And one of their friends here said, oh, I hope those LGBTQ people don't move in here. So that person was like, oh, they were my good friend and I don't even know what to say to them because they don't like L. And, you know, so I'm just here to sort of promote our program for the LGBTQ residents that do live here if they want to engage with LGBTQ community members.
And open the door because it's the hard, it's easier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah. And then the second focus is to just to reach out to the non-LGBTQ folks and just talk to them about why it's important to be respectful of people, regardless if you have the same belief system or not, because we're not here to change belief systems. We're here just to educate on how to be respectful and kind, because we're all human beings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We need that too. Are you going to do a presentation?
I am. So I do have a slideshow.
Okay.
And there's a video on there. It's about 15 minutes long that I'm going to show, which actually introduces some LGBTQ people to the group. And then next month when I come, I'll have a panel of LGBTQ people for my program to come and just sort of create a safe space for them to folks that have never maybe engaged with LGBTQ people to engage with them and see that they're not scary.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Is this comfortable for you to be here this close?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All good?
I think this is
Okay.
great. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of how many people plan on attending?
I saw that I think like 15 signed up.
Oh,
This
great.
would mean because our other residents, neighborhoods like assisted living, and they can't sign up.
Oh.
So yeah, they could show up too.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
Cool. The more the merrier. Yeah.
So we have the independent and then the assisted living and then the.
Okay. And then to turn this on, should I test this
It's
or
on,
it's
yeah.
all ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need to do nothing. Okay.
Do you need to do something with your computer and hook it up to?
Well, I plugged this in. Where's, oh, I guess this needs to be plugged into
Okay.
something, right?
Look, I'm not the best at being computer literate, so you're gonna have to figure that
Yeah.
out. There you go.
I run the
do that, I'm like, wait a
LGBTQ
minute.
program, not the tech program.
There you go. Let's see.
Okay, great.
A small table.
And I did bring some swag too, if y'all wanted some things that are kind of fun. Some white people can and brown people can. Inclusive to everybody, but yeah, so we can hand those up. to
Yeah,
people up
we're
there.
gonna have a table. Is there one out here?
We can just use that lounge.
Yeah, let's put it here.
Okay, cool.
You can put it here, I'll put it out.
Apologize for coming so early. I live in Stockton, so I always come early because you never know with traffic, Stockton. Yeah, and so- yeah,
Yeah.
and there can be traffic sometimes, so I always try and leave early just in case. And would I be able to connect to the internet? Oh, I guess. HG guest?
Yeah.
Oh, how are you doing? So when I was chatting with Bradley, he did mention that y'all are participating in the SAGE training. Are you aware of that? And if so, how far along are you guys on that? Yeah, so SAGE is the largest national organization for LGBTQ older adults, and they provide cultural competency training to care providers and senior residencies here too. Okay. Yeah.
But I think I part of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just finished one. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I am.
Okay. Okay.
If I look, I'm gonna run up to when I come back.
Okay, great. Because it would be nice if I could mention that you guys to your folks that you guys are participating in that and that it's you know, it's a organizational thing that you guys are doing, which is great. We're SAGE trained as well. And once you complete all the training, then they put you on their website as a credentialed LGBTQ provider. So if there's future residents or of the LGBTQ community and they want to move somewhere where they know they're going to be welcome, they would go to the SAGE website and look at all the places and they would see you there. So that's one of the benefits of participating in the training. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Huh? Yeah. Not a lot to do. No. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah.
So my name's Thomas. What's yours? Louise. Very nice to meet you. Glad to see you here. Have you been a resident here for very long? 13 years, okay. How do you like it? I guess so, even if you're still here. Yeah. Seems like a nice place. That's super important. And you all have sound that will come through. Should I test the video? Make sure the sound goes. No, but let's. Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing well.
wanna see what you're doing. You're the first one here. What do you get? Did she get a round of applause?
Yeah, that, and we do have some gifts over here. Too.
Are we early?
I go early. It's no.
I think it's early.
Yeah, it's supposed to start at 2:30. I'm an early bird.
We're way early.
Yeah, we're way early. And you said, what did you say about the sound? Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
No?
You sure can. Yeah, you're gonna get the whole box, actually. You guys are gonna get the whole box. I made those special for y'all.
Oh, good. Oh, I thought you, I'm like, something like that. Sorry about that. I'm going to get Phyllis started. Upstairs. Oh, nice. I know the drink was cold. I'm like, thank you. I'm coming back.
Okay. I promise I'll steal everything.
Hi, Anthony. Hey, Tony.
You said that when you were-
I'm doing well. How are you? Oh, no. Are you going to be okay for the presentation? Do you need us to cancel? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm actually doing another presentation in Los Gatos at a residential community. Yeah, no problem at all. But yeah, I'll reach out to them right away. Hey, you're welcome. All right, thank you, John.
How are you? You waiting for something to happen?
Mhm.
I'll come in and you decide. Hold up and then the other side.
Thanks. I don't either. I wish I did. I don't, yeah. No. Yeah, I see that movement too. But yeah, it says it's up. Not muted. No, not at all. Not at all. Yes. Yes. And part, yeah, part of the presentation, will show that video.
Catching his trend.
Oh,
My name is Bob. I consider myself a gay man, so I guess I'm a member of the gay community.
much time do we have?
5 minutes.
Okay, can we manage with this one?
Chang. My pronouns are
Yeah, and then put the microphone here.
If that works for the people out there.
Asian, older gay man. I'm a Buddhist and I'm a tennis
Does
player.
this do anything?
No, the
I'm Mara
microphone.
Raquel Souza Munoz, and my pronouns are she, her. Identify as a two-spirit, and to understand I'm sexual
Sorry.
It's okay.
because I fall in love with people's soul, and her body parts really aren't that important to me. I'm a pretty deeply spiritual person who I love people, and I
Hi, how are you? Good.
Hey, Adrian. Is this a skater?
Yeah, in that case, you could bring your application here. Yeah, no one is there from the buildings and grounds. I don't know.
Okay.
But will that not work? If you can just use the mic?
Well, I don't mind as long as people can hear.
Yeah, I just
Turn
turn
it up.
on or like increase the volume for this one, for the
Okay.
microphone.
I like to make connections,
Okay.
but I'm demisexual.
Hi, my name is Max and I identify myself as a gay male. My name is Danielle and I'm bigender, but I think the word transgender so beautiful.
Jeez.
My name is Lisa Flynn. Pronouns are she and her, and I identify as a queer transgender woman. I definitely feel part of the LGBTQ community as a whole.
No.
That's become a huge part of my life. So that's
Um,
catching as trans.
My name is Bob.
How can we make this work? Does this mean anything, this thing right here where it says all speakers or? Oh, look, it does say mute right there.
It's, I don't know, why it's not working? See if I can find someone from the missing grounds.
If not, I mean, I could forego the video.
You can forego the video.
If necessary. I mean, it is sort of important, but, you know, I don't want the guests to be all like, what's going on?
Fine. It's playing somewhere. It's playing somewhere. I don't hear it. It's playing somewhere. Yeah.
Identify as a two-spirit.
Sorry about
Yeah, it's okay. And so you can't hear it at all, like if I,
And
it's not loud enough. Huh?
to understand, I think I'm pretty much pansexual because I fall in love with people's soul and their body parts really aren't that important to me. I'm a pretty deeply spiritual person who I love people and I like to make connections, but I'm demisexual.
Hi, my name is Max, and I identify myself as a gay male. My name is Danielle.
Okay. So, sorry for the delay, folks. Let me just. Okay. Okay. Hello. All right. Hello. Can you see me now? How's everybody doing today? Well, here, is this better for y'all? Is this better? Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't like to stand behind there too much, but okay. Okay. Well, I'll stand right here. How's that? Can you hear me and everything? Okay. So thank you folks for joining today. My name is Thomas Kingery. I'm the program manager for a nonprofit program out of Palo Alto called the Avenidas Rainbow Collective. I was invited here today by the Terraces to talk a little bit about LGBTQ older adults in our community, the greater community, as well as the community here at the Terraces. So what I would like to do today, excuse me, is to introduce y'all to my program for one, two, start a discussion about LGBTQ older adults in our community, what they've lived through and what it's like for them today. And three, the other topic I'd like to touch on is how you folks could be sort of like an ambassador for the community, for the LGBTQ residents that do live here. And we'll touch on all those things, but let's start off with my program. So again, my name is Thomas Kingery. I work for Avenidas in Palo Alto, which is a nonprofit older adult enrichment center. We don't like the term senior center, but that's the closest label I can give it that you might understand beyond the enrichment center. So Avenidas itself is a nonprofit that's been around for 50 plus years. Our entire mission is to enrich and help older adults navigate aging in a healthy way, in many healthy ways. And so that we do that in various ways. We do that through educational opportunities, activities that are more geared towards fun than education, social opportunities for folks that might be isolated at home and want to get out and make some friends. And then we also make it a point to address certain populations within the greater older adult community. So we have programs for Chinese Americans. We have the Avenidas Chinese Community Center, which is located in Mountain View. And then we have this program, the Rainbow Collective, which is our newest program. We started it about 4 years ago, or I started it about 4 years ago. And full disclosure, I am a gay man myself. And I just wanted to let you all know that, because sometimes you can't tell by looking at people if they're LGBTQ or not. And so I just want to let you all know that I am, and I'm proud to be LGBTQ or gay. And I wanted to give you guys some insight. You guys have some residents here that are LGBTQ as well. So part of my mission today is to help them feel welcome in their home, because this is now their home. right? Just like it's your home. So Avenidas, beyond the programs I just mentioned, some other things that we do that we're proud of is we have the Avenidas Care Partners, which is a program, social services program to help older adults get connected to resources. We have a transportation program that helps older adults get out of the house, get to doctor's appointments, and get to the grocery store or wherever they want to go. We're here to help that. We have the Avenidas Villages, which is a program where if you are living in your home, in your neighborhood, not here in a residential community, but in your home, and you wanted to stay in your home, you can join the Avenidas Villages, and we connect you with other people in your neighborhood that also want to stay at home, and we help build a social support network for you in your neighborhood so that people can age at home. And then we also have the Avenidas Rose Kleiner Center, which is an adult day health center in Mountain View. And that's a program for adults who might have some cognitive or memory issues. And we provide the adult day health center to give some respite to the family caregivers who take care of them at home. So they're able to drop their loved one off at the adult day health center in the morning, and they're supervised with nurses, caregivers. They're given lunch. They have activities to enjoy, and so we're really proud of that program too. So this is a picture of not this one that just passed, but last year, 2022 Silicon Valley Pride Parade. We marched in the parade, which was the first time that many of our participants actually have come out and participated in such an event, which was really joyous for some of them because many of the older adults we work with, not all of them are out. Some of them are still in the closet, and that is a testament to what their experience, their lived experience has been. Older adults in the LGBTQ community, if you are not aware, throughout their life, they've been told they're not wanted. Throughout their life, they've lived through times when it was illegal to be who they were, where it was considered a mental illness for being who they are. And so living that life, now that they're older, they've sort of been programmed that they're not welcome anywhere, that they're not wanted. So this event was really special for us because it gave an opportunity for some of those older adults who never was out to be out and be among people who accept them for who they are. Because, well, I'll get to that. So LGBT, as I mentioned, LGBTQ people, older adults have lived through some pretty trying times. The younger folks in our community, they're a little better off, not great. You know, there's still some prejudice towards the LGBTQ community and the young folks in our community. But they didn't go through what the older adults went through. So if we're dealing with an older adult who's 90 plus, that means they lived through the invisible generation. What that means is when they were younger, in their 20s, 30s, you didn't even talk about LGBTQ, being gay, lesbian, or anything. Those words never came out of your mouth, let alone tell your friend or tell anybody, right? So it was like not even, society didn't even recognize that the gays and lesbians of that time. And then the silence generation, that came right after that. So that's the point when society said, okay, yeah, we see you, but we're gonna call you criminals and we're gonna call you mentally ill. So we moved from being invisible to being seen, but disregarded. And then what comes into my generation is the pride generation. So that's the generation that said enough is enough and put their foot down and said, we're here and we want to be treated like human beings. And that's the whole point of, I think that's the bottom line of my presentation today, is that we're all human beings. And in our program, we do a lot of talks with various organizations about LGBTQ older adults and the LGBTQ community at large, where we explain the different identities, which can be overwhelming if you've heard. We don't want people to think that we're here to change your minds or belief systems, because we're not. If you have a strong belief inside that that's not for me. That LGBTQ world's not for me. That is great that it's not for you. But that doesn't mean you can't be kind to somebody who does live in that world, or that doesn't mean you can't be respectful to somebody that lives in that world. And so that's what I'm here today is to promote that respectful and kind behavior. So I talked about this stuff. So sometimes I talk faster than my presentation, so I apologize. And that's another thing. My mom always told me to slow down when I talk. So I do think about it. Sometimes I talk still fast. So I don't even, but you raise your hand, Tom, slow down. You tell me slow down, I'll slow down. I apologize. It's just my character trait. I got into that. Back in 2019, Santa Clara County did a survey, and they mailed out postcards to every single house in Santa Clara County that had somebody that lived 50 and above in that house. And on that postcard, it asked them to, if they were part of the LGBTQ community, to go online or to call a certain phone number and participate in the survey. So that survey revealed there's 3,200 older adults who participated in the survey, which tells me, because I know people hate doing surveys, that there's more than that. So that's just the people that participated, right? So out of those 3,200 people, this is the breakdown of the different identities. And we can go into the different identities as well, because I'd like to educate you. So most of the folks are bisexual. So in case you don't know what that means that that's a person that's attracted to both men and women. Then we've got the next biggest group, which looks like it would be the gay group, my group. That's where a man is attracted to another man. And then we have the next group would be the lesbian group. And forgive me, I'm not trying to, when I say these definitions, you probably know what they are, but I'm just saying them just in case there's folks who don't know what they are. So the lesbian population, that's where women are attracted to other women. And we actually had some heterosexual people participate in this survey. But that's sort of I'm going to dive into that a little bit, explain a little bit. So in the LGBTQ community, there's one big umbrella, the LGBTQ umbrella, right? Underneath that umbrella, there's all these different communities, right? So those different communities can be broken down into two main communities. The sexual orientation community, where you're going to have your gays, lesbians, bisexual folks. And then the other would be your trans community. And so that's where you're going to get people that are transgender or non-binary or gender fluid. And we can get into those identities. Now, if a person is trans and they identify as so say I'm trans and I identify as a man, and I am attracted to a woman, I'm considered straight. So that's where these heterosexual people come in on here. So they participate in the survey because they identify as LGBTQ, but they also identify as straight. Because what's the definition of gay or straight is where it's a man attracted to a woman or vice versa, a woman attracted to a man. So if the person is trans and they identify as a woman and they are attracted to a man, they don't consider themselves gay. Body parts have nothing to do with it. It's the gender identity that they relate to. It's how sexual orientation is. So it can be a little complicated, but that's the nitty gritty of that. And I'm going to go into some of the other identities. So there's the trans identity where that's a binary switch. So trans female means that they were born with the sexual organs of a male, but then transitioned to live life as a female. That doesn't mean that they did anything surgically. That it totally just means that they are living the life of that other gender that they identify with, right? The next one is non-binary. So that's somebody who identifies as neither. They consider themselves just human beings. They don't identify as a man or woman. Those are the folks that use the pronouns that are kind of difficult to remember. The they, them, like I don't even know them all, and this is my job. Like there's so many, right? So those folks, they don't identify as either. And then there's gender fluid, where that's somebody who today may feel more masculine than they did yesterday. Yesterday, they might have been a little more feminine. So maybe they wore some nail polish or did their hair in a feminine way or something. So those folks are gender fluid. So again, I just wanted to educate you all that the LGBTQ umbrella is a huge umbrella, and you can break it down into 2 subgroups under that. And then those subgroups are going to have more subgroups. So it can be overwhelming. My advice to anybody who's interested in learning more about that or engaging with folks that are of those identities is just take it one step at a time, right? Like we're all human beings, like I said. If you make a mistake when you're communicating with somebody, especially in the trans community, you're probably not going to run into this with the sexual orientation community, where you say the pronoun incorrectly or misidentify them. What you do in that situation is you acknowledge that you made a mistake and you apologize for that mistake, and then you move on. You don't make it a big deal. You don't say like, oh my gosh, Henry, I'm so used to you being Sally, but I know you're Henry, and it's just so hard for me. It really is a challenge for me to get to, because you're drawing that uncomfortable situation out by over apologizing. It's just important to acknowledge you made the mistake, apologize for it, and then just move on. That's the best advice I can give anybody. And this may not pertain to folks here at the community, but this might be relevant for any of you that have grandchildren that might identify with the community. There's a lot of youth who are identifying with the trans community. The older adult population, there's some trans folks, certainly, but there's more younger folks. And I think that's just because the older folks never had that opportunity to even consider that, whatever. Where the younger folks today, they're well aware of the opportunity to live authentically. And that's another thing I mentioned in passing, and I do talks at San Jose State University for their aging and society class. One thing like young folks in the community, they're privileged to have is tech and the internet. I know from personal experience, when I was a teenager in junior high school, I knew I was gay then. I didn't say I was gay to anybody, but I was certain I was the only gay person in that school, if not my whole town. I didn't know anybody. Whereas the young folks today, they're able to go online and find chat groups or social groups online and find connection with folks. So that's just another testament to why it's important to just remember that older adults in the community, what they've lived through, and where they're at today, and how we can help them to feel safe and welcome in community. Cisgender and transgender. Let's talk about that. So who knows what cisgender means? Anybody? You want to share it with the group? So you're cisgender. That's exactly correct. So if you are a person that identifies as the gender that aligns with the sex assigned to you at birth. So I was a little boy when I was born. They put a little boy on my. I identify as a man, so I am cisgender. A transgender person is somebody who does not identify with the sex assigned at birth. Any questions about that stuff before I move on? Do you have a question?
Yeah, I can still, because there are people who are cross-dressers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's fun.
Yeah.
They're acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, they still are in their attractions and so on within their gender. So where do you put them and why do you put them?
So that's a very good question. And I want to point out, there is no absolutes, by the way. So you could very well have a straight cisgendered male who likes to dress up as a woman, like a drag show. And that doesn't mean that they're trans. That doesn't mean that they're gay. That just means they like to dress up and entertain people as a woman. Statistically, though, most of those drag queens are gay men. A few are actually transgender women, but most are gay men. But again, that doesn't, that's purely because it's entertainment. They just enjoy doing it as for fun and entertainment. Cross-dressers, drag queens, that's not a good way to try and identify somebody because it's entertainment. It's totally for entertainment. Any other questions? Okay, move on. Okay, so this is more information from the survey that we took back in 2019, and these are some of the findings that we got. So we asked, what are their perceptions of safety and inclusivity in these realms? So is there they identify that there's 10.8% people say that they feel that there's enough LGBTQ services for older adults in the community. So if you flip that over, 90% don't think that there's enough services, right? Medical and health services, you would be only 15% of those 3,200 people that took part in the survey feel that they can safely be honest with their medical provider about their identity. So there's a lot of older adults who are not giving their doctor the full story. And if the doctor doesn't have the full story, then that leaves room for mistakes and stuff in treatment. So, and that speaks to, like I said, that in the past, all these folks have been told that they're not good. They're not welcome. They're not, it's not acceptable to be who them. So they're constantly hiding who they are from doctors, other residents in communities like this. And that's why I'm glad I'm here, is to help alleviate that stigma that they feel. They don't feel represented in aging services, like the county has the Department of Aging and Adult Services. They don't feel that that's inclusive to their community. Public spaces, look, only 9% feel safe in public spaces. They worry about what could happen to them if people realize that they are LGBTQ. I had a newspaper call and want to do an article on the program. And so I participated in the interview, and they asked if I could recommend or refer a participant to also be included in the interview, and maybe include a photo. And so I referred him to a gentleman. He agreed to be in the interview, and he was interviewed, supplied this photo of him when he was younger, and he was really proud of the photo and everything. The day before it got published, he called me frantic. He's like, "Oh my God, Thomas, you need to call that paper. I don't want to be in the newspaper. I can't be in the newspaper." I'm like, "Why? What's going on?" I overheard my maintenance guy in the apartment complex talking negatively about LGBTQ, about gay people. And I'm worried that if he reads that article and sees I'm gay, what he might do to me in my apartment complex, you know. It is really sad that, you have a question? In what regard? Stop what? Oh, stop working, like retirement? Well, it's just like any other community. The LGBT, they retire 62 if they have the money to do it, 65, 67 if they have to keep working to pay the bills. With this gentleman, though, I just wanted to point out that even though he knew that, well, see, I can't say that. Even though he knew, that's not, I shouldn't say that, because I don't know he knows anything that, you know, that it's okay to be who you are, right? You know, I use this analogy a lot when talking about LGBTQ older adults. Now, do you remember back in the day when there were circuses? I don't think I've seen a circus around town in a long time, but there were circuses, right? And at these circuses, they'd have animals there to perform. They'd have that big, huge elephant that had the chain on its leg and it was stuck to a stake in the ground. Now, as rational adults, we all look at that elephant and we say, that elephant could break that chain and walk away if it wanted to. I mean, that's a 2-ton elephant. That stake in the ground is probably what, a foot in the ground or something? He could walk away. But you know what? They put that chain on the elephant when it was a baby. When it was a baby, it tried to break that chain. It tried to be free, but it couldn't break it back then. It was too weak. It's too small. And so it lived its life thinking it can never break that chain. I wasn't able to do it then. I'm not gonna be able to do it now. And that's what it's like for LGBTQ older adults. They're that huge elephant that are now in an environment where it's more inclusive and welcoming to be who you are, but they're still programmed that they can't and they're not welcome. So I just threw in some facts about LGBTQ aging. Caregiving is a struggle for LGBTQ older adults. And if you think through it, you can understand why. LGBTQ folks, we recently, just in 2015, were able to get married. So that didn't leave a lot of time for people to invest in building a family and that support network that you rely on when you get older. There are a lot of the older adults in the LGBTQ community are what we call solo agers. They're doing it all alone. They don't, for many reasons, the rejection from the family when they were younger, and the family found out they got rejected, never reconnected with the family. Maybe they did have a partner that they found. Thankfully, they had somebody in their life, but maybe that partner passed away, and their whole life spent with that partner was in a bubble, in their bubble, where they were safe and where they were okay. And so when that partner died, that leaves that surviving partner in that bubble, all alone with no support. So caregiving is a big issue in the older adult community in general, but especially so for LGBTQ older adults. Healthcare, I touched on this already about it's not often that older adults will confide in their doctor that they're LGBTQ, which could lead to negative health outcomes. So the Avenidas Rainbow Collective, we see all this affecting the LGBTQ older adult community. So that's why I started this program, was to sort of mitigate those negative situations that they're living with. And how do we do that? We do monthly and quarterly social groups. So that's to help build their chosen family. It's never too late to build a chosen family. If you don't know what a chosen family is, that's a term in the LGBTQ community, because often many of us have been rejected by our blood families. So we made our own chosen families where we choose people throughout our life to be those special people. So the Avenidas Rainbow Collective creates these social opportunities for people to meet other folks and invest in healthy relationships with these folks. And I'm glad to say anecdotally, I know it's working because we get good attendance at our social groups, but I also know that participants get together outside of the Rainbow Collective social groups. They go to the movies with each other now. They go to dinner with each other now. They're not so alone. So that's one way we try and combat those negative outcomes. Community building opportunities. We do a lot of intergenerational, or we try to do a lot of intergenerational things for our participants. This is for two reasons. One is we hope to, by connecting them with younger folks in our community, that confidence will sort of wear off on the older adults by seeing how the younger folks are living authentically, and sort of they can learn by example from the younger folks. And then alternatively, the younger folks can learn from us older folks to not take it for granted what they have today, because it wasn't always so the way it is today, where you can get married, you can have kids, you can adopt. None of those things were possible for the older adults in our community today. So my dream is to do all the work today for the older adults that are here with us today, but build a better tomorrow so that the older adults of tomorrow in the LGBTQ community won't have it so rough, because they are going to have those families that they invested in, the children and whatnot. Now, I wanted to show you a video. This is, so when we did the survey, we reached out to members of the older adult community to give some testimonials about their experience. And unfortunately, the speaker system here isn't connecting to my laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play it, but I'm going to do the closed captioning so you can read along. I'm still going to play the sound and hold a microphone to it. Hopefully you can hear it, but if not, please read, because it is important what they have to say, in my view. So here we go. That's right. I want to make sure the captions are on.
My name is Lisa Flynn. Pronouns are she and her, and I identify as a queer transgender woman. I definitely feel part of the LGBTQ
I'm sorry, it's not doing the closed caption. Oh, start.
community as a whole. That's become a huge part of my life since hatching as trans.
My name is Bob. I consider myself a gay man, so I guess I'm a member of the gay community. I came out very late. I was 27. And so that's different from many fellows today who come out much earlier.
My name is Jason Cheng. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am Asian older gay man. I'm a Buddhist and I'm a tennis player.
I'm Mara Raquel Souza Munoz, and my pronouns are she, her. Identify as a two-spirit, and to understand, I think I'm pretty much pansexual because I fall in love with people's soul, and their body parts really aren't that important to me. I'm a pretty deeply spiritual person who I love people and I like to make connections, but I'm demisexual.
Hi, my name is Max and I identify myself as a gay male. My name is Danielle and I'm bigender, but I think the word transgender is so beautiful, like a waterfall or something. And so when I'm social, I prefer to be feminine and really nurture people. And when I'm doing, I'm a machinist and I'm a geologist, I'm Daniel or whatever. And I'm just so happy that I've been able to be my feminine self in recent years. So he, she, whatever.
And I have to be thankful for the fact that that I've survived this long living with HIV/AIDS. I've lived through all the worst medications and the side effects. And here I am when I didn't expect to be alive. I expected to be dead 30 years ago. And here I am. So here and of course that affected my income during those years. So I don't have a big, huge retirement nest egg to pull on or any other kinds of access because probably my greatest years of income went away from the 1990s onward.
The communities that I'm a part of and the identity that I express in those communities has been expanded.
I've had a lot of problems as I'm getting older. You know, I was in an ambulatory nursing home for a short amount of time, and I feel really ashamed, but you know, it's just so much stigma and marginalization, and especially if you're going to be institutionalized, which I've been a lot trying to remain independent because of my behavioral health. Or it's not really, I don't call it behavioral health. I call it mental health challenges. And I really struggle because it's hard to integrate into different communities when you have layers upon layers upon layers of stigma, you know, and I've faced that. But however, I know that it's made me a very strong and resilient person.
Part of the worst part of being an older adult, especially a gay one, is social connections. Right now, the pandemic sort of ruined everything, but hopefully it's over, and I'm waiting on a booster, so I feel comfortable in any situation with people, and I'm a tactile person, so I like to hug people. And I miss that.
I would just say that usually we are invisible because generally most of the community is not 60 plus years old, which I am. So that's kind of one of the hard things to deal with, that we're just invisible.
The most important services to me as an older adult, I would think it's the environment for you to build a community, to build a support system, because you know most of us don't have kids. And as we grow older, we need friends support or the family we choose to support us.
You know, I'd really love to see a retirement community that was a MYOB, you know, mind your own business. You know, nobody needs to know exactly what we are, but this is our community, and our activities in the rec hall are drag queen bingo, and we can dance with each other and not worry about stares or people staring, or, you know, and just be comfortable and be ourselves and really enjoy our retirement years. And but it's sad that I'm finally getting, after 25 years, you know, independent, completely independent housing that I can afford. And it took 25 years.
I think everybody should have at least the knowledge of dealing with the will, the living trust, the probate process. I learned that our way.
The waiving of some of the incidental costs for my health care because I'm low income. Other services tend to be provided through friends and family. My rent is not what it might be, and that's because I do a lot of things for my family.
Let me just preface that with saying that I carry huge privileges because I worked in tech in the Valley, Silicon Valley for 30 plus years. So I realize I carry this privilege that I had all this stuff just given to me. And I know lots of trans girls who do not have that. So it's nothing to do with being old, but just being trans in our society means frequently you're just on your own. And it just breaks my heart. So anything that would help support trans girls.
The support I get these days, the first one is the Avenidas LGBTQ programs, like their walking group, like their song appreciation group. I get to enjoy the program and I get to make friends there. That's one I really like. And then my partner and I also joined the meditation group offered by San Francisco's open house.
The contact that I was put with was Thomas Kingley. And at first it was Zoom calls because of the pandemic. And later on, it opened up till he was allowed home visits. And it was good to see somebody in person. And I've been with him, 6 months or so. And it has been so good to know there's people out there if you can just find them. And I was so depressed that I was suicidal. So basically, this avenue is saving my life.
I thought it was important to complete the LGBT survey because I felt that the county government need to know what they were doing right and other things that they could do more of. And so the survey provided a platform to address some of those questions, and there were enough comment paragraphs where you could basically elaborate and not just answer yes or no and whatever. So that was a good opportunity.
I think it's really important to complete the older adult survey, especially because over all this time, nobody's really kept any statistics of our community and nobody's asked questions. And so, and if we are able to answer honestly and we can get a good statistics about our community, I think it would really be beneficial. And I really wanted to participate.
It's really hard to know what is needed unless we're asked. And one thing that I notice as a transgender person is there are a lot of individuals that could be like me and be out, and they are not. And I interact with them and they describe their suffering and their lack of recovery, both economic and socially, because of the suppression that they've been through. And I try to do everything that I can to help and meet with them and listen to them. But I'm puny compared to what organizations can do to help people and or assist people who are assisting people. So the survey informs like what needs to be done.
What I hope comes out of releasing the results of the survey are that we become a little less invisible. People say, oh, there are older trans people, there are older gay people. I didn't know that. So maybe just a bit more awareness of us being here.
After we find out the findings of the survey results, of course, we would like to see the county to support the most important issues collected from the survey.
Being an older person, the advantage that I see is you get perspective. You can see things. Nothing trips you like it used to. And you're a little more adventurous because you know where your safety nets are and you know friends. So at least you're all getting old together. So that helps.
One thing I love about being older LGBTQ adult is as you grow older, you get more experiences with your life So you feel more freedom about your life. And you kind of figuring out what is important to you and what is not.
I finally feel free to be myself. You know, I feel like I've been hiding who I am and my identity, and feeling like I'm always not myself and not authentic. It's very freeing for me to be a senior. It really is. And I'd like to be more with our community, with the senior community.
The wisdom that I've gained and the ability to be empathetic with people unlike myself and finding myself changing to be a kinder, more nurturing person. And that helps me to reach my more feminine goals too. So aging is not all bad. It's not great, but it's not all bad.
Well, I would just say that as you age, you're not alone, whether you're gay or straight or bi.
So what I love about being an LGBTQ senior adult is that I love being trans. I love every day that I'm trans. Since hatching not too long ago, I can finally be me. Having been led such a suppressed life for so long, the fact that I can now be me is so important. That's what I love.
Okay. All right, so what did you folks think about that video? Do you have any thoughts or any comments about what you saw there? Very nice, right? Yeah. You know, I'd say I think there was 6 people in that a panel of talkers. 5 were from my program, so I know those folks very well. Max, the gentleman with the white coat, who was a little teary, he's he's come a long way since that video. He's now joining more. He's confided in his doctor about his identity. He's actually seeing his doctor because he had some serious knee issues going on. I used to be like, oh my gosh, get your knees fixed so you can get out of the house and come join us on some of these outings, which he's been doing. So he's doing really well. One thing I wanted to point out in what he said was, which was important to him, was to know that there's people out there to support you. You just need to find them. That touched me, and that sort of inspires me as with this presentation too. So little backup. When the terraces reached out to me, they reached out to me specifically because they had an LGBTQ resident who came to them and said that they're in the closet and they're scared to come out. And they reached out to us to ask what we could do. He had informed me, this was Bradley at the time, informed me that the Terraces as an organization is taking steps. They are doing what, there's an organization called SAGE, which is the largest national organization for LGBTQ older adults. And they provide trainings to places like this on how they can make their environment and staff more welcoming to the LGBTQ community. So he told me that they're doing that. They're in the process of doing that right now. So I'm very proud of the Terraces for doing that. And then he reached out to me again in another email to just emphasize the importance of doing these presentations. Was another resident came to him, said that they were LGBTQ and that they were in distress because one of their good friends who they've been friends with for years while living here made a comment saying, I hope those LGBTQ people don't move in here. And they were LGBTQ, and that was their friend who said that, right? So that's why they felt it was important for us to come out and just talk with you folks and help everybody understand that we're all human beings and that we're all, whether we are the same or different, we're all human beings, and we just want to be welcome and be, accepted for who we are. We all do, right? And so with that in mind, I created these buttons right here. And this is just one way that you can help those LGBTQ residents in the community here know that they're not alone. What they say is the Terraces of Los Gatos inclusivity advocate. So that means that you're an advocate for being inclusive to everybody, regardless of who you are. We just want you, right? So I made these for y'all so that maybe you guys could wear these around the residency, so that maybe an LGBTQ resident might see you wearing the button and might sit next to you at lunch or something and start a conversation and feel comfortable and safe with you. And by no means, you don't have to wear these, or you don't have to take one or anything, but I just wanted to create an opportunity for you all to support your own residents here and your own neighbors, because it's a team effort, right? No matter how much talking I do up on a stage, it's really you all that will help make that difference in the lives of the residents.
You have a very small audience here. I was hoping that more.
Well, and I thought about that. And so with your help, you'll spread the word, because I'm coming back next month. Because when talking with the Terraces, I said a one-time presentation isn't really going to do anything. We need to start the conversation and then get that conversation moving and going. And so I'm coming back next month. And next month, I'm going to have a panel, much like what you saw in the video here, but you're going to be able to engage with them. So they're going to come here, and we're going to use that opportunity to become more familiar with each other. So, because, that's what fuels stigma and hatred and stuff, is unfamiliarity. The unknown is scary. So let's combat that together and create space and opportunity for questions to be asked and answered respectfully. So if you all could spread the word, I'm sure they're going to post it somewhere wherever they do the postings, that we'll be back next month. But in passing, when you're just in your community, mention this presentation I did to somebody who wasn't here today. Tell them that they can get one of these buttons at the front desk, because I'm leaving 100 of them here for y'all. Please do take as many as you think you could pass out. What's left, I'm going to be leaving with Adrian, and he understands that he's going to be handing them out to people who ask for them. So we do want them to be available for y'all for this campaign of inclusivity here at the Terraces in Los Gatos. And so next, yes. So our office, so my office is in Palo Alto. However, we're funded by Santa Clara County. So we do programs throughout the county. We do programming in Milpitas, in downtown San Jose, then in Los Gatos. And we do a lot of things that are just out in the community. We do meetups, field trips, where we'll go to a museum together. We'll go have lunch afterwards. And mind you, I just want to put this out there too, because this, you might not even work. We're inclusive too. You don't have to be gay to join us. You can be an ally and join us on one of our outings. And that's another great way to familiarize yourself with people of the community, is to share an experience with them. Because I tell you what, we do programming at Avenidas that is inclusive, intentionally inclusive. So I have an exercise group, I have a tech group. They're run by LGBTQ people, but they're advertised to the greater community. So we get straight people, gay people, trans people come into these events or opportunities, and after time they stop othering each other. They start looking at, oh, we're all the same people in this class together. Oh, we're all the same people sharing this experience together. Emphasis on that we're all people, right? Instead of othering and pointing out the differences, they start to focus on what we have in common. And so I just want to put that out there, because some people see the LGBTQ and they say, oh, that's not for me. It is for you if you want it to be. We welcome everybody. So again, just a little more talk about what's happening next month. I'm going to have a panel. It's going to be probably 3, maybe 4 folks of various identities to come talk to you all. Come prepared with some questions that you might want to know the answers to. even if they're uncomfortable for you to ask, this is the opportunity to ask. And I want to keep in mind, again, I remind you, if you have LGBTQ grandchildren and you want to ask us the questions you might not want to ask them, so you're just prepared to engage with them respectfully. That's what we're here for too. We could talk about all the identities, all the pronoun, all that sort of stuff is what the next presentation is for. It's not me standing in front talking to you, it's us around a table talking. And I do want to say though, this is not an opportunity for people who are against LGBT community. Like, this isn't an opportunity for folks to come in and belittle people or anything like that. So if in passing you're talking to people and you talk about the presentation and someone says, oh, well, I'm going to go there and I'm going to tell them we don't want these people, let them know they're not welcome to attend that. Everybody's opinion is valuable, but in certain situations, right? Like, it's not, there's a right time and place for everything. And the intention of that next meeting is for enlightenment, not for putting people down. So I just want to make that clear. All right, so any questions or anything before I let y'all go? Yes. I do. I can look that up for you right now. Oh, it's going to be on Tuesday, the 17th at 2:30. And it'll be a 90-minute presentation. So a little longer than this, but that's intentional to give us time to actually have a conversation, because I'm not talking at you next time. It's a real conversation for everybody to participate in. Okay, so any other questions or anything before I put a pin in it? Yes. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, sorry.
We got really bad for these transgender persons, but how do you address it?
So, you know what, you can't control what other people do, right? So that person walking off on their partner because they're transgender or whatever, I guess all you could do is wave goodbye to them, and then you can take their place next to them and say, hey, let that person get out. Who cares what they think? Like, I'm here for you. That's what you could do, is in an instance of negativity and rejection, make that an opportunity for acceptance. Absolutely. Yes. 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 Yeah. And you don't have to necessarily, so you do want to address. So like, for example, say like I'm having a conversation with this lovely lady right here, and we're chatting about a transgender person, and she knows that the transgender person I'm talking about identifies as a female, but I say, well, he told me this. It's totally appropriate for her to say, well, remember, she identifies as a woman, so you got the pronoun wrong. Even though they're not there to hear it, advocate for them. Let that person know that they made a mistake, because people, oftentimes they don't make the mistake on purpose, but that's what a mistake is, right? It was on accident, right? So it's through repetition and stuff that people get to not make those mistakes repeatedly. So we can all help each other. Even if that person that was offended, or not offended, but misidentified is not present, it's totally appropriate too. Yeah. Okay.
These people do not come out. We don't know who they are.
That's right.
So personally, I just treat everybody as a friend.
Perfect.
Okay, but that isn't everybody here.
Right.
How do you find out?
Well, I think you don't need to find out, right? So that's a great question, because it's not on us to out people, right? It is absolutely not. So the way you're playing your game is perfect. Just be kind and respectful to everybody, regardless of their identity. Even if you think you know what it is, you don't out them, right? That's for them to do when they feel comfortable with you to do it. Even if you would think, let it go. Just let it go and treat them like a human being. Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because, I grew up in New Orleans. And, there, every day.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody cared.
Mm.
Nobody felt that it would be ostracized. Nobody made any effort to disturb them or make them feel unwelcome.
Mhm.
When I came around here, I was shocked to find out that there was a big problem. So I think that the fact that you're bringing this way you are to the general public is totally important to me.
Thank you.
I remember one time I was discussing another project with my rabbi. And he said, way back in Genesis, the word was that there are at least 8 kinds of humans in the world, men, women, and all shades in between. And they're all my children.
Right.
They are all loved in the same manner. And I think that was the attitude, fortunately, that I grew up with. And I hope that you can continue with this.
Well, thank you.
As people learn that the differences between people are much less than the similarities.
You're absolutely right.
A lot of this can go away.
That's right. You're absolutely right. And thank you for saying that. Because I think it's important too to have these conversations. And I hope that it was helpful for you all to be here today and gain a little better understanding about what the LGBTQ older adults who live here might be going through. And like I said, we have some buttons over there, and wear them with pride, if you don't mind. And yeah, I guess that's it. But like I said, come prepared for the next presentation with some questions. Because I'm not going to be the only one talking. There's going to be different perspectives. Because that's one thing I want to mention is, like I mentioned on the LGBTQ umbrella, there's like the different groups. The trans perspective is totally different than the gay perspective. So I can't speak on the trans. I can educate you on the pronouns and all that sort of stuff, but I could never speak to what their experience is. And so that's why it's important to have somebody represented. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know the circumstance behind him leaving, but he was yeah, he was, I knew him. I met him last year. We did a project last year, and then he called for. I have nothing but nice things to say about Bradley. And kudos to him for taking the initiative to reach out to me when a resident approached him in distress, because he could have just as well walked away and said, okay, sorry you went through that, but he didn't. He took steps to remedy that, to make a better situation. Yeah. Okay, folks. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So anybody that participates in the program, is it all grants?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's all free. I mean, sometimes, when we do our lunches, like our meetups, we'll go for an outing and then have lunch. Typically, folks will pay for their own lunch. However, we do make it clear to everybody that if cost is an issue, you let me know privately. We don't want to embarrass anybody, but I will pick up the tab for their meal. I will make sure they get a transportation to the outing if they can't drive or whatever. We don't want any obstacles in anybody's way to participate. So, and we do pay for we do an annual trip to Filoli. Have you guys ever been to Filoli Gardens? So that's coming in March. If you guys want to join us, we do pay for everybody's admission to go there. And we get a good group, probably 30 or 40 people. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, we come to welcome the spring. So yeah. No, but I heard it's beautiful. Yeah. Now imagine. Yeah, yeah. I should make a point to go this year. Yes. It is a nonprofit. Yeah. Yes, we accept donations and we welcome them. Because we do get funding from the county, but it's limited funding. Our program has actually grown to the point we could use more funding to hire staff to continue that growth. And here's a brochure I'll share with you. This is did you get one of these? Oh, okay. This talks about some of our programs. So like I said, straight people are welcome to join, or if you know any LGBTQ folks that might want to join us, spread the word about our program. And even though they're here in Los Gatos, we'll make it happen for them to join us. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, but help yourself to a pen.